So the topic today that I'm going to be talking on is about overcoming limiting beliefs and removing our fears. This is, I would say, one of the major things that holds us in life. It literally stops us from taking initiatives. It stops us while we take the initiative. The journey itself can become very, very difficult because of the limiting beliefs and our fears. Uh, I had taken a session earlier to this called on the stress management or the biology of stress. Because stress and limiting beliefs, fears, stress is also a lot of relationship is there. So those who attended that the stress session, just bear with it for this one or two slides for a few minutes. Uh, so what causes stress? Because all of us today, some of us are in very stressful situations. Some of us may have overcome that stress. Some of us are maybe looking forward toward opening up the lockdown. Some of us already are hopefully in a state where the lockdown has to some extent lifted and we can get back to whatever reasonable life what it was previously. Now everything does cause its own levels of stress, and we had discussed this in reasonably details in the previous session of to what causes stress, how the biology of the body, what changes the body has because of this stress, and a lot we had gone through. So I'll not repeat all that right now, but just to give you the brief thing was what causes stress. It's our expectations that cause stress. That's one of the major thing that causes stress. So, like in previous, if you remember the previous video, when you have goals and targets, expectation from my spouse, expectations from my children, from my vendors, suppliers, depending on your situation, every expectation is a potential trigger for a stress. Because the journey, the expectation does not get met in one day or in one jiffy, right? It's a journey. And then the mind starts playing its own tricks to say, what if that expectation is not met? Is the expectation being met? And all that causes stress. So expectations causes stress. I'll not go into too much depth of it right now because this was covered earlier. uh, so again, we got expectations. Now when the expectations are not met, that causes stress because you expected something should happen and that did not happen. That causes a whole entire reaction of the body and there are a lot of emotions involved in it, etc., etc., and that causes stress. And both these things become unhealthy. So this causes stress, and the uncertainty that the expectations are going to be or not going to be met, like I said, causes stress. One more thing that causes stress is these two things: our limiting beliefs and our fears. Both these are very, very powerful, so powerful that they simply sometimes do not even make us take action. So your mind, you want to do something, कुछ करना है जिंदगी में, but हम नहीं कर पाते for a simple reason. The mind holds you back, saying no. What if you fail? So, and that what if you fail is your limiting belief that simply stops us from taking the next steps. Fears are more somewhat more tangible, I could say. So limiting beliefs are not tangible. You cannot put a finger to it. To a fear, you can put a finger to it. Say, okay, this instance happens, I feel afraid, or my heart goes duck, 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 etc. And there can be many, many fears. So these two things is what we are going to majorly talk about today: of the limiting beliefs and the fears. Now, let's just see what are these limiting beliefs. They are simply those if you remember, for those who have been listened to me before, you might have remembered me talking about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Those who are some of you who come first time, maybe there are two brains, a conscious brain and a subconscious brain or the minds, and I'll talk about it a little later as to how these are connected to limiting beliefs. Now, what happens is basically, again, coming back to the same thing, 95% of the time we live in a subconscious world. We live subconsciously without any thinking, without any conscious thinking. Only 5% we live in a conscious way. By सोच समझ के हम कदम उठाते हैं, that's only 5%. 95% the whole body is going on its own without you literally controlling it. And how does the body do this? The body does this because there is a program built into the body. There is literally a software program which the God Almighty has designed and developed, and He placed it into our brains or the body, and we are being run by that program. But the God Almighty is a very smart guy. I mean, man, woman, we don't know, or maybe a Shakti, right? Very smart. So it did give you a overriding, what do you say, that you could change the software. He gave us this option saying you can, okay, if you find there is some bug somewhere, na, please change it. He gave us a limited, those are the technical field. We'll know something called as a ROM, RAM, and various things. So this memory that we have, you can change the software. You can change by doing something to the brain. You can change the software, literally rewrite the software, and that's why the title of this session had, rewire your brain. So you can literally do a software surgery of your brain, and you can change the software and running in the background, because this software running in the background is your subconscious mind. It is running on auto. Okay, the conscious brain is the one which can change this software. Whether it does it or not, 90% of the time it doesn't do it because we don't know how to do it. The problem is nobody taught us how to do it. That's the biggest problem. It's not that people don't know how to do it, but nobody taught us since school and college. This is not a subject, nor do parents know this, nor do teachers know it. Who is going to teach you then? There are only a few select people who know how to change this entire how the conscious mind can literally change the subconscious mind. So these guys are the only guys who literally have it. But actually, it's very simple. But the more simpler it is, the more difficult it is for us to believe. कि इतना so आसान है क्या? So let us see what is this negative or self-limiting beliefs that literally run constantly in my background, and that's the default program that is running in the background continuously. So, for example, these I can't messages. Subconsciously, when something happens or you have to do something, what is your mind instant reaction to it? For some, it could be I will never amount to anything. Background में चलता रहता है. I'm a failure. I never succeed. I'm bad at public speaking. Happiness never lasts. I don't deserve to be happy. I am worthless. I am useless. I am not smart enough. No matter how hard I try, it's never good enough. So these negative messages that keep coming into the brain, वो आता रहता है. Do you recall it? Do you call it saying, यार, let me think negative now, यार, मेरे को negative सोचना है कुछ देर के लिए? ऐसा नहीं होता है. कुछ करना, you want to do something, the message is always there. Hey, nahi, what if you fail? It's not your cup of cake, okay? You cannot do it. The subconscious mind is warning you constantly. It's a warning going on, red signal going on in the background of your brain, saying, you are bad at public speaking, yeah. Why are you taking the chance? Oh, log jute marenge tere ko. And that means even though I might be very good at the subject, I can be a fantastic engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, a chemist, or whatever your profession is, and somebody says, okay, please, you're a fantastic guy, you've got so much experience, why don't you come and give us a talk to our group? And so, what? Give a talk? Hey, it's a subject you know very well, it's a subject that you are an expert in, just give a talk. And that person cannot do it, because subconscious mind may either it's a fear or it's a limiting belief that I cannot do public speaking, or it is actually a fear. And we'll talk about this both things a little later. And there could be some more I can't messages. What are these? It is difficult to make money and very hard to keep it. So some people believe, so some of us have a belief system that money is bad. Okay. Some of us, if somebody asks, is money good? Some will say no, because money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all corruption. And that my background says, yeah, agar paisa, so you work hard, and when you work hard, you get money because paisa aata hai when you work hard and do etc etc. And when the money comes to you, what is your background program telling you? That money is bad, money is evil, money is corrupt. Okay, and therefore, even though I'm getting the money, my background program says money is bad. This money will disappear from me as fast as it comes, because my subprogram says money is bad, and that becomes that limiting belief or the negative program in my mind starts governing my future. I say, look यार, कितना मेहनत करते हैं हम, पैसा तो आता है लेकिन टिकता नहीं है. All that starts to play in the mind. I have to work hard to earn money. I don't deserve to succeed. No one will ever love me. I don't deserve to be loved. I'm going to get cancer, diabetes, blood pressure, and other diseases because there's a family history. So this is again one very important thing that has been drilled into many of us. That look, what happens when you go first into the doctor saying, I got this, doctor asks you for your family history. Look, did your father have diabetes? Did your parents have diabetes? and you say, yes, my parents have diabetes, or maybe my father or mother has diabetes. Ah, and doctor gives a very knowing look, okay. So if your father had diabetes, then the probability of you having diabetes is also very high. What does my subconscious mind tell me? You're going to get diabetes, okay? Because your father had diabetes. Because I've been brought up since my childhood into the belief system to believe that diabetes is probably a genetic disease. Therefore, if in my genes it is there, that means my parents had it, so I have a very high chance of having diabetes. And the brain literally constantly checks. Okay, the brain is fantastic. I mean, the more you study this brain, you get amazed at how what God has really amazed. So the brain is in a constant loop, and it's a loop which is literally in a loop in frequencies. I'll not go to that depth over here today. There are these brain frequencies and body frequencies. There are alpha, beta, all these frequencies are there, and the brain is constantly checking. So your subconscious mind is saying you have to have diabetes because your parents had diabetes. The brain checks. Have I got diabetes? No. Checks. No. Checks. No. The brain says this guy says you have to get diabetes. And at 40, you'll get diabetes because your brain, the subconscious program said, my parents had diabetes, I must get diabetes. So the brain does all that required to give you diabetes. But if you literally believe, the subconscious mind says, I'm a hale and hearty guy. I don't have to worry about anything. My health is in my hands. The brain checks, it's my hands. Am I healthy? Yes, I'm healthy. To do that, you go to 10 things to ensure you remain healthy. Just saying I should be healthy, I should be healthy, I am healthy, healthy. It doesn't matter. You got to do work for it also. But the probability now you are getting things like diabetes good that disappear because you manage to change these messages that you keep giving. And there are many, many more messages that one can literally keep giving. So these are limiting beliefs. That means these background statements which keep going on in the background at all times. You sit in one place, there is some thought going on. Okay, something kuch na kuch chal raha hai. There is the mind is never blank. Now, are those positive thoughts going on in your background? Are there negative thoughts going on in your background? Because whatever thoughts keep coming into the mind instantly get converted into emotions. And the emotion, if you remember the biology of stress session, moment you get those emotions will create multiple chemicals to be released in the body. There are happy emotions, there are sad emotions, there are angry emotions, there are fear emotions, and the body goes into that state. And if I'm many a times more in that negative beliefs and the fear wala state, my body is going to be in a fear psychosis, fear state. I'm going to get, there are going to be lots and lots of problems which will keep coming in.